Hello everyone, this is time to move on to the poem number 3, Rain on the Roof of our course book Beehive. The poem Rain on the Roof is written by Coates Keeney. He was born in 1826 near Penn Yan, New York. He was partially educated at Antioch College, Yellow Spring, Ohio, and studied law with Thomas Corrin. He was admitted to the bar in Cincinnati in 1856 and he became a journalist and worked on papers. So Coates Keeney was a writer as well as he was also associated with the law. So today we are going to study one of his poem, Rain on the Roof. So before starting the explanation of the poem, a little introduction. When the sky is covered with dark clouds and it starts raining, have you ever listened to the patter of soft rain on the roof? What thoughts flashed through your mind as you heard this melody of nature? Read the poem to find out what the poet dreamed of while listening to the rain. So, after reading these lines, we can suppose that this poem is all about the rain and the sound of the rain, and while it is raining, which type of thoughts were coming in poet's mind. Let's have a look. So, first stanza, when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in the rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Humid means full of moisture. Shadows has come for dark clouds which are full of moisture and whose shadows are coming on the earth. Hover is called to move all around. Starry spheres has come for sky that are full of stars. Melancholy means sad, and cottage chamber has come for the bedroom of the poet, and patter is the sound made by raindrops. So, when the humid shadows hover, when the dark clouds full of moisture, they start moving all around in the sky over all the starry sphere, the sky that is full of stars, and the melancholy darkness. Melancholy darkness means the night is very sad and full of darkness. So, this is the description of night, that what is going to happen in the night, that during the night, during the sad and dark night, the dark clouds full with the moisture, they started hovering, they started moving all around the starry sky, the sky full of stars, and gently weeps in the rain tears. Means the dark clouds is ready to bring the rain, and as the raindrops comes, so all the sadness of the night just wiped away, and it is looking like the sky is weeping, the sky is crying in the form of raindrops. What a bliss to press the pillow. Pillow means the poet is lying down on his bed in his bedroom, and he is lying down on his pillow, and bliss is a call of a type of happiness. Okay, so the poet is feeling a type of happiness when he was lying down inside his bedroom on the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. Means when he is lying down in his bedroom on the bed and he is pressing his pillow and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Now, which type of happiness he was feeling? The raindrops, the sound of the raindrops, the patting sound of the raindrops that were coming on the roof. Means he was lying down inside his bed, and the roof of the bedroom is creating a sound made by the raindrops. So again, I'll give you the explanation of the complete stanza. This is the time of night. The night is very sad and very dark, and suddenly this sadness and darkness of the night is wiped out with the dark clouds that are moving all around in the sky, that is full of night, full of stars, and the clouds are filled with the moisture and ready to bring the rain. And as it just starts raining, it is looking like all the sadness of the night is wiped away, and the sky is crying in the form of tears, and the tears are brought by in the form of raindrops. And this is the time of the night. This is the description of the outside and what is happening inside the bedroom of the poet. The bedroom, in his bedroom, the poet is lying down on his bed, and the pillow was kept under his head, and he was feeling a type of happiness when he was listening to the petting sound of the raindrops that are coming on the roof of his bedroom. Now the poetic device of this stanza, the rhyming scheme is A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Rhyming scheme is set according to the last word of each sentence. Whatever the words are rhyming, we are going to give the same letter to that line. Here you can see B, B, line number 2nd and line number 4th. So last word are rhyming, and again the last word of line number 6 and line number 8 are rhyming. That's why we have given E, E. Now the last word of first line is hover, then sphere, then darkness, and then tears. So spheres and tears. Last word of line number 2 and line number 4 are rhyming. That's why we have given B, B. Now move ahead. Pillow, bat, petter, overhead. Now the last word of line number 6 and line number 8 are rhyming. Bed, overhead. That's why we have given E, E. So the rhyming scheme will be A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Now the literary devices, first is alliteration. Alliteration is called the repetition of the consonant sound. So here in many of the lines we can find this literary device. First is humid, hover. H sound is repeating. Then starry, spheres. Here S consonant sound is repeating. Now press, pillow. Here P consonant sound is repeating, and in the line lie, listening, L sound is repeating. Another literary device is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia means when something is coming from it, means something is showing in its sound, in its voice. Okay, so here the sound of the raindrops on the roof is shown with the word patter. Patter is sound. Onomatopoeia is related with the sound word. Okay, so here the sound word patter by the raindrops is given. So in this word, which literary device will be there? Onomatopoeia. Next is personification. Personification, when we are personified any non-living thing, means when we are making any non-living things in a living being, then it is called personification. Here darkness is personified by saying it is sad. Now darkness is not a living thing. Darkness is non-living, but the poet is making it a living thing by saying it is sad. Okay, so it is personified, so personification will be here. Now next is transferred epithet. Now this is a new literary device. Transferred epithet is a type of adjective word that is attached with a noun. Now you very well know that adjective always comes with a noun. Okay, so transferred epithet means something is transferring. Okay, like the adjective that is attached with the noun, that adjective is not exactly coming for that noun but with the other noun, but for the other noun, like melancholy, darkness. Now melancholy is an adjective word and darkness is a noun word. Fine. Now here darkness is not melancholy but the sad people. Now melancholy is coming for not the darkness of the night, but melancholy is basically came for the sad people, means indirectly it is come for the sad people. Okay, it is written darkness, but who is melancholy, who is sad? People. So indirectly melancholy, darkness is showing the sad people of the word. Now some of the new words here: humid, full of moisture; shadows, moisture laden clouds which cast shadows on earth; hover means move around something; melancholy is called sad; bliss means happiness; patter means the sound of the raindrops; and cottage chamber is called the bedroom. Next stanza, every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy beings start, and 1,000 recollections weave their ear threads into woof, as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Tinkle is again the sound made by the raindrops. Shingle are the rectangular tiles which are attached on the roof of the bedroom. Echo means repeated sound. Fancies here come for the imagination or dream. Recollection means the uh, past memories are again coming in the mind. Woof, air thread into woof. Woof are the yarn, okay? Yarn means thread. As the fabrics are woven on the loom, so there are two types of threads. One is wrap and one is woof or weft. So wrap is the lengthwise yarn and woof or weft are the widthwise yarn. And when we are weaving these both the threads, then it results in a fabric. So to complete, so to woven a fabric, the yarn, weft and woofed yarn are mixing together, and then the fabric is ready. So here the woof has come to woven the dreams, and patter again the sound made by the raindrops. Every tinkle on the shingle, so whatever means each and every sound of the raindrop that is coming on the tiles that are attached on the roof has an echo in his heart. His heart has come for the poet's heart. Echo is called repeated sound, means first the raindrop is making the sound on the tiles which are that is attached on the roof, and again that is creating a sound in the heart of the poet. So two times the sound is created by the one raindrop. So that's why here's coming echo. First the raindrop is coming and making the sound patting on the tiles, and again the same raindrop is creating the sound in the heart of the poet. And 1,000 dreamy fancies means in his dream, the poet is sleeping, and in his dream he is going to see so many imagination, thousands of imagination in the form of dream is coming in poet's mind. Into busy being start. Now busy being here is coming for the human being, and who and which human being is there? The poet. So busy being means the poet. Start means started thinking. So here, after listening the petting, the tinkling sound of the raindrops on the tiles that are attached on the roof of his bedroom, that sound is again creating the echo in the poet's heart, and because of this the poet is starting imagining so many memories, so many past memories in his mind in the form of dream. And 1,000 recollections, thousands recollection means so many collected memories, and there is no one or two memories, there are thousands of the memories, past memories, they are collecting one by one, weave their ear threads into woo. All the memories are coming in collecting like the fabric is woven on the loom. So all the memories are woven in the mind of the poet like threads, and they are becoming a complete fabric, means in the form of a dream. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. And what when it is all happening, when the poet in his dreams is listening the petting sound made by the raindrop, and that is coming on the roof of his bedroom. So again the complete stanza's explanation. When the rain sound is coming on the tiles that are attached on the roof of the bedroom of the poet, then those raindrop sound is again creating an echo in the poet's heart. And then after listening to the petting sound, the tinkling sound of the raindrops, poet started imagining so many fancies, so many memories of the past, and those memories are coming in the form of dream. and they are not one or two memories, they are thousands of the memories collection that are coming one by one, and that are taking a complete shape of the dream, like we weave the fabric on the loom. And when it is all going to happen, when the poet is listening to the petting and tinkling sound made by the raindrop on the roof of its bedroom. Now the literary devices rhyme scheme is same in this paragraph also, as the last word of line number 2 and 4 are rhyming, and line number 6 and 8 are rhyming. They are shingles, heart, fancies, start. Now heart and starts are rhyming, then recollections, woof, patter, roof. Now woof and roof, number 6 and number 8 last words are rhyming. So rhyme scheme will be A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. The same as the last stanza. Now literary devices is first is alliteration. Again the repetition of the consonant sound. In the line busy being, repetition of consonant sound B. Their thread, repetition of consonant sound T. And rained roof, repetition of consonant sound R. Next is onomatopoeia, the sound of the raindrop that was coming in the last stanza in the form of patter, and now the sound is coming in the word tinkle. So in tinkle, onomatopoeia will be there. Personification, when he said they weave dreams. Now they weave dreams means who are weaving dreams? The dreams, the collection, the memories. Now memories again the non-living things, but here the poet has presented them as a living thing. So they weave dreams has personified in the form of dreams. Now last one is transferred epithet, means dreamy fancies. Again dreamy is an adjective word and fancies is a noun word. Now here fancies are not dreamy but refers to the people who have dreams. So dreamy has not exactly come for fancies. Dreamy has indirectly come for the people. So here dreamy is transferred from fancies to the people. So which device will be here? Transferred epithet. Now some new words of this stanza. Tinkle means ringing sound. Shingles are the wooden tiles on the roof. Echo means the repeated sound. Woof and waft are the thread woven across the loom. And busy being means poet himself. Stanza number 3. Now in memory comes my mother as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers as she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as a list to this refrain which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. Agone is called years ago. Er is the old poetic word that has come for before. Okay, now fond is called very much like or interested, you can say. Refrain here come for the sound of the rain again. To this refrain means again it's come for the sound of the rain. And dawn is the daybreak, the early morning time. And list, L-I-S-T, list is again the past word used by the previous poets, and the main meaning of this word is listen. Now, in memory comes my mother. Now, in the previous stanza, in stanza number 2, the poet is recollecting some memories after listening to the petting sound of the rain. Now, which memories are those? The memories related with the mother of the poet. So, the poet is reminding about his mother as she used in years ago. Now, poet's mother is no longer alive right now. She is not with the poet, but the poet is reminding about his mother that years ago to regard the darling dreamers means when the poet's mother is sitting beside the poet to make him sleep, and she let him sleep till the daybreak, means till the morning, and during the night time the poet also used to see the dreams, and his mother is treating him as a darling. Or she left them till the dawn, means the mother is letting poet to sleep till the daybreak, and till that time the poet is busy in seeing different type of dreams. Oh, I feel her fond look on me. Now the poet is again feeling that his mother is looking on him as I list to this refrain. List is called listen, refrain is called the sound of the rain. As he is listening to the sound of the rain, he is feeling that his mother is looking on him, which is played upon the shingles. The sound that is coming on the shingles, on the tiles that are attached on the rooftop of his bedroom by the patter of the rain. By petting means by coming on the tiles, the raindrops is creating a type of sound, the petting sound. So again, the complete explanation of this stanza. The poet is reminding the past memories of his mother, that how his mother is sitting beside him when he is laying down on his bed, and his mother is regarding him as a darling, and after sleeping the poet is going to see so many dreams, and his mother is letting him sleep until the day break, until the early morning, and during this time poet is busy in seeing so many dreams. So this is the attachment of the mother with the baby, that mother is loving his baby so much and treating him as a darling. And when he is feeling all these things, and still the poet is still reminding about his mother, and he is feeling this thing when the raindrops, the patting sound of the raindrops is coming on the tiles which are attached on the rooftop of the poet's bedroom, and he seems as if his mother is watching, is looking on him, and he can listen to the sound of the raindrops as well as the mother, and he can feel his mother besides him. Means he is feeling that his mother is still sitting besides him, tapping his head and making him sleep. And all this is happening when the raindrops of the rain is coming on the tiles of the rooftop of the poet. Rhyme scheme of this stanza the same. Line number 2 and line number 4's last words are rhyming, and the last word of line number 6 and 8 are rhyming. Mother, agone, dreamers, dawn. Now here line number 2, last word is agone, and the last word of line number 4 is dawn. So agone and dawn, they are rhyming. So B, and then me, refrain, shingles, rain. Now the last word of line number 6 is refrain, and the last word of line number 8 is rain. So refrain, rain. They are rhyming. So E. So the complete rhyme scheme will be A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. First literary device is alliteration, repetition of the consonant sound. In the line memory, my mother, M consonant sound is repeating, and in the line darling, dreamers, the consonant sound D is repeated. Next is onomatopoeia, the sound of the raindrops on the roof, patter. Now onomatopoeia is related with the sound word, and here the sound word patter made by the raindrops has come, so here will be onomatopoeia. Now some new words. Is a old poetic word for before. Dawn means early morning. List is the old poetic word for listen, and refrain is a repeated part of the poet, but here it is come for the sound of the rain. So the completion of poem is done line by line. Now we move to the textual part or the question answer of the poem, so you better understand the part, whatever the part is not understood by you. We start from question number 1. What do the following phrases mean to you? Discuss in class. Some of the phrases out of the text of the poem has been given. We have to take out the meaning of those phrases. First is humid shadows. Humid shadows refers to the dark clouds which are full of water. Starry spheres. Starry spheres refers to the sky at night time which is full of stars. Third is what a bliss. Bliss means a blessing or happiness. The happiness that was coming in the heart of poet. Next is a thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start. Now it means that people start having very sweet dreams. Fancies are dreams, and busy being means people, but the busy being here in the poem has come for poet. So poet started seeing so many sweet dreams. This is the meaning of this phrase. And the last phrase is a thousand recollections weave in air threads unto woof. So it means that when the peoples are asleep, the memories of the past come back into their mind in the form of dreams. As we weave the fabric on the loom with the rope and weft yarn, same as the recollection, the past memories are weaving in the mind and they are taking the shape of dreams. Question number 2. What does the poet like to do when it rains? When it rains, the poet likes to lay in bed and hear the rain falling on the roof of his room. Question number 3. What is the single major memory that comes to the poet who are the darling dreamers he refers to? The poet has memories of his beloved mother. When he was a child, she would put him and his siblings to the bed and allow them to sleep till late. They had sweet dreams in their sleeps. Darling dreamers refer to the poet and his siblings when they were children and had sweet dreams. They were loved by their mother and so were her darlings. Siblings means brother or sisters. Okay, so poet is talking about his mother, that he is reminding all the past memories of his mother, that how his mother is letting him and his brother or sister to sleep till the late in the morning, and this thing is coming when he is listening the patting sound of the rain that is coming on the rooftop of his room. And who are the darling dreamers? Poet and poet's brother or sisters are the darling for his mother. The last question of this poem is: the poet now a child? Is his mother still alive? No. Now the poet is not a child, he is an adult and his mother is not alive anymore. So I hope you understood the poem's explanation as well as the literary devices, the new words, and including the question answers very well. Now, with the help of the meanings and literary devices, try to explain each line of the poem so that you better understand to explain the poem yourself. So that's it for now. We'll meet again.